home again. Today I have a story for you, one of my favorites. It's about Elmer the Elephant. And Elmer isn't regular, he's patchwork. And that means he has all the different squares of colors all put on him. You think it's a pretend story? Do you think it's fiction? Or do you think it's going to be a real story, non-fiction? It will be fiction because there's no such thing as an elephant that looks like this. So, Elmer, I'm going to read to them now. Here we go. Elmer by David Mckee. There was once a herd of elephants. Elephants young, elephants old, elephants tall and short, fat and thin. All were different, but all were happy, and almost all were the same color. All except Elmer. Elmer was not elephant color. He was patchwork. Elmer was yellow and orange and red and pink and purple and blue and green and black and white. It was Elmer who kept the other elephants happy. Their games and jokes were always his idea. If an elephant was laughing, the cause was usually Elmer. But Elmer himself wasn't happy. Who ever heard of a patchwork elephant, he thought. No wonder they laugh at me. One morning, just as the others were waking up, Elmer slipped away. As he walked through the jungle, Elmer met other animals. "Good morning, Elmer," they said. After a long walk, Elmer found what he was looking for. A large bush covered with elephant-colored berries. Elmer caught hold of the bush and shook it until the berries fell on the ground. Then Elmer lay down and rolled over on the berries, this way and that. He picked up bunches of berries and rubbed himself all over until he was covered with berry juice. When he had finished, there wasn't a sign of any yellow or orange or red or pink or purple or blue or green or black or white. Elmer looked like any other elephant. On his way back through the jungle, Elmer passed the other animals. "Good morning, elephant," they said. When Elmer rejoined the herd, none of the other elephants noticed him. As he stood there, Elmer felt that something was wrong. But what? He looked around, same old jungle, same old blue sky, same old rain cloud, same old elephants. The other elephants were standing absolutely still, silent, and serious. Elmer had never seen them so serious before. It made him want to laugh. Finally, he could bear it no longer. He lifted his trunk and, at the top of his voice, shouted, "Boo!" The other elephants jumped in surprise. Elmer was helpless with laughter. Then the others began to laugh. "Ah, too bad Elmer isn't here to share the fun," they said, laughing harder and harder. And then the rain cloud burst. When the rain fell on Elmer, his patchwork started to show again. "Oh, Elmer!" gasped an old elephant as Elmer was washed back to normal. "You've played some good jokes, but this has been the biggest laugh of all. What would we do without you?" "We must celebrate this day every year," said another. "The day of Elmer's best joke." "All of us elephants will decorate ourselves in his honor," said a third. "And Elmer will decorate himself elephant color." And one day, each year, the elephants color themselves yellow or orange or red or pink or purple or blue or green or black or white and have a parade. If you happen to see an elephant in the Elmer's Day parade who is ordinary elephant color, you will know it must be Elmer. And now we're going to go outside and I'm going to show you an art project, how you can make things that are patchwork. Are you ready, Elmer? Okay, let's go. Okay, Elmer, let's do our art project. I'm going to start with colored paper that I found around the house. I got all these different colors, I just happened to find them. And I cut them into a strip. I put them all together, makes it a lot easier. And then I cut them into squares. Then I take a piece of white paper, and you could have someone draw it for you. Oh, sorry. You could have someone draw it for you, or you could draw it yourself, but I drew an elephant. So now that's on one side. And on the other side, I already started gluing my squares. But I saved room to show you because I'm going to glue one more row. So put your glue down. And then just glue the squares on. And you can put them anywhere, any color you want. You don't have to have a pattern. And make a patchwork. I'm trying real hard not to put the same color next to each other. So I'm looking to see what I need next. There we go. And you just fill the whole back of that paper up with patchwork. Now it's easier if I let your glue dry. So while it's drying, I'm going to show you something else that you could do with the same idea. Maybe you don't have colored paper, but maybe you have a lot of wrapping paper. I found this wrapping paper. It's got dots all over it. You can cut it into strips. Here's all my other wrapping paper that I cut up. And you can cut them into squares. And maybe you don't want to make an elephant. So on this one, I drew a flower. And then I started gluing all of the wrapping paper on the back of it. I saved room for this wrapping paper because I haven't used it yet. So I saved places to put 3 of them on it. So I'll glue them on here. And then I'll let this one dry too. Once it's dry, you're going to turn it over so you see the elephant side. Don't worry about the squares and just cut out the elephant. Cut it out on the big black lines. Try to cut it where you can see. Okay, I'm going to turn it over because it goes a lot faster if I face it to myself. Cut it only on the outside line. Don't worry about the inside ones. His little eyeball and things, you can draw that in later. His big smiley mouth. Remember, he was always making jokes. So I cut him all out. And I have a patchwork elephant. I can draw his eyeball in on this side, and if you want to, you could do the same thing. You can make like an ear, because do you see how Elmer's ears are kind of sticking out? So I cut out an ear. I'm just going to fold it back a little bit, and then I'm going to glue it onto my patchwork elephant right about where an ear would go. Right about here. And I'll put an eyeball on there, and then I will have my Elmer elephant all patchwork. Well, let's look and see what happened with the flower. Same principle. You're going to turn it over and look only on the flower side. And you're going to cut out only the flower side here. Don't worry about all the extra papers that you went oversized with, but you're just going to keep your flower shape. It's a little easier to cut a flower than it is an elephant. And then I have a flower, and it's all pretty because it has all the little wrapping papers on it. If you had to make a card for somebody, or you want to make a present, or just something to decorate your refrigerator, or you decorate your room, you can make stars. You can make all kinds of shapes. Or you can make elephants. Thank you for joining. See you next week. Bye-bye.